No, and this is how we get down. What's good, everybody? Welcome into a St. Patty's Day edition of Coach and Company. Real quick, I love Dan Orlovsky. White shoes with a green suit is a no-go. Enough with the white tennis shoes. All right, I had to get that off my chest. Today's an absolutely huge day. If you're watching on our YouTube channel, hit the like button on your way in. If you have not subscribed to our Coach and Company YouTube page, please do that while you are there. But we are also our big platform. We're so excited to be on the Stadium Network and everywhere that Stadium is. Prime Video, YouTube TV, Direct TV, and the list goes on and on. If you are brand new, welcome. My name is the Coach. I navigate this ship. This is my brand with so much help from the greatest partners that you could possibly ask for in the course of the next 60 minutes. We're talking the World Baseball Classic. Are you into the finals tonight? Venezuela and the United States. Also, a bunch of front page news. Alabama heading into March Madness without one of their best players. And March Madness, the tournament, it unofficially starts tonight with the play-in games. We'll talk all about that. And has Netflix cracked the code on MMA? We'll discuss that as well. And obviously, our best bets, which yesterday we went 3-3 on the show as I was wheels up over Texas and Arizona to get back. This is what we did. Brandon, what are you doing? Over 10? Over 10? And then the Orlando Magic got absolutely smoked last night by the Atlanta Hawks. But if you can tell, I'm a little bit pumped up today. Because when we started this brand less than 2 years ago, I believe now, we had dreams, we had goals, and we wanted to build this thing. And we knew it was going to take time, years, to get it to where we wanted to go. But every little bit, we add, we bring in some really good people, and we are on the brink of turning this into, I say it all the time, the new Barstool Sports with all kinds of new shows and new content. Coaching Company, we're growing. Coaching bro like a weed. We have our Sirius XM show, Off the Ropes, 2 to 4 Eastern time, every single day. And then today's a very special day because at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time, we launch our brand new show, and it's called The 2 Count. And the 2 Count will be 30 minutes, 10 topics, all pro wrestling. And my partner, he's polarizing. His name is JD from New York. A lot of you love him. A lot of you love to hate him, and you're going to love to watch him spar with me verbally every single Tuesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. It is called The 2 Count, and producer man, as he always does, absolutely destroys it. That's why our shows look better than everybody else's, and it's not close. And I'm telling you right now, this is only the next step. So thank you guys so very much for your support. You find all of our shows, and it means the absolute world to us. All right, before I bring the guys in, some news of the day. The Rockets last night, they only scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant said, "It's on me." And the Lakers now all of a sudden have this new defensive identity. Luka, by the way, 36 of the 100 for the Lakers. And the World Cup only a couple of months away. Well, according to the Iran embassy in Mexico, they are negotiating with FIFA to have the Iran World Cup games moved from the United States to Mexico. So there's a lot of fallout going on from the different things that are going on in the world around us. All right, that is the news of the day. So, ladies and gentlemen, I am so excited. I hate missing shows, but I love doing the PGA Tour. By the way, check out the new show tonight, 9 o'clock on the Golf Channel called Chasing Sunday. Absolutely amazing. And we're chasing some green check marks. So my question is, they're here. We're streamlining this stuff today. Let's go. It's time. Let's beat the books. All right. The chat is popping. Oh, my goodness. Look at these two shamokes. All right. First and foremost, last night, over 2,000 people have watched The Last Word with Big Tommy, Gabby, and my numbers guy, Rafael Esparza. Good morning, Rafael.
Morning, Coach. Welcome back. Enjoyed your golf coverage all weekend. I love the early start, so I can watch you early before all the other sporting events start. So I want to thank you for starting my morning off with a plus on Saturday and Sunday.
Thank you very much. We got so much feedback from the Betcast. This was our fourth one, but it takes a little time for people to find it and figure out what we're doing. And kind of what we tried to do, Raphael, was not just shove bets down people's throats. We tried to call golf from a betting perspective. So hopefully we're
It's
getting the right.
educational golf betting, as I call it.
Perfect. That's better than what I was saying. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you for that. Now this man did a great job hosting 2 days while I was gone, and now he's wearing, it looks like an extra small T-shirt over there on Who Needs Luck. Mikey P, what's up, man?
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, guys. Raphael, you stole my thunder. I wanted to be Kiss Up Mountain because, Coach, I was going to save it for Rant Wednesday, but it's truly an honor to be a part of the brand on a day like today. You mentioned everything, 2 count that's coming, the opportunities you've given me to sit in the chair. So just very grateful on this day to be a part of this brand.
Well, I appreciate it. And full transparency, you've earned it. You know me, I'm right now we're in that transition phase. And everybody who earns it and wants to be here, they'll be here. Everybody that doesn't, hey, we're going to go full speed ahead, and you have done yeoman's work in front of the camera and behind the camera. I got to ask you guys this before we get to our best bets. A lot of people say that March Madness, that the tournament doesn't start until Thursday. Well, tell that to Texas. Tell that to NC State. Tell that to Howard. Tell that to UNBC. Are you guys into the tournament tonight, or do you just say, I'll wait until Thursday, Raphael?
Oh, I've been in the tournament last week. I think March Madness starts the heat of conference tournaments because we see teams bursting bubbles, teams that shouldn't be now in a tournament who are now in a tournament because they won their conference. So I think it's an extra week now, and not just these Tuesday, Thursday playing games. I think it started last week.
And I wonder how much, Mikey, attention there is on the women's game, because right now, WNBA, and we have it in our front page news, they are making almost a mockery of their season and of their league. Last night, Kim Mulkey came through my timeline, and she's always good to be the resident curmudgeon of women's college basketball. Are you into the women's tournament at all?
I'm gonna forget. I'm mad that you're bringing up this question because I wanted to put this woman over, but the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, I believe it's Coach Miller, Molly Miller, I believe is her name. She is exactly not what just women's college basketball needs, not what college basketball needs, what women's basketball as an entire sport needs. Coach, we're talking about a coach that gets in there, and we're talking on the women's side. She's taking hits from the players. She's fired up. I saw when she first got introduced this year, she told the media, I want you guys at every single thing that we do. Open practices for you guys. And they made it to the tournament. So, yeah, she's captured my attention.
It's crazy. It is not that hard to do. And by the way, they have a football coach who's the same exact way. It's not that hard to do. That's how we are here at Coaching Company. We want everybody. We don't give a damn who you are. Just be here, have a positive attitude, and talk a little trash when needed. All right, gentlemen, 3-3 yesterday. Just not good enough. So I have one very simple. That's what I thought. Mikey P, best bets. Go.
Well, we went 3-3 yesterday, so I'm going to come out with 3 picks to get us started and go 3-0. I am going to start with the Texas Longhorns on the money line. Now, the NC State Wolfpack have the better team on paper, but as soon as they go cold, it is over. Too many times the Wolfpack felt like a team that should have done a lot better throughout the season, and they simply did not show up. I don't expect them to find that on switch, so I like the Longhorns tonight. And hey, guys, by the way, did you know the Miami Heat still play games after Bam Adebayo somehow scores 83 points? But they have not been that good. However, the Charlotte Hornets have been worse. 0-5 ATS in their last 5, so I am taking the Miami Heat plus 4.5 in that Eastern Conference showdown. And then Team USA. Coach, you know I was Team Italy. And while I'm a little depresso espresso this morning, we're going back into real Americans because that is what I am. Let's go Team USA. Let's go over 5.5 runs at plus money.
USA. USA. Let's go. And where is that? Anybody know where the game's being played at?
Miami.
Miami. I just went to a game there during our PFL stint. I went to a game down there in Miami. Great stadium. There was just nobody there. All right, Raphael, you're going to be up next. By the way, I do have a third play for people. It didn't make it on because it was late. I said it in late, but I'm going to have 3 plays as well. Raphael, you're up next.
It's March, so I'm sticking with it's in front of me. March Madness, my both plays are college basketball. Give me Howard, the Bison, team total over 70.5. The Juice is at minus 105. Their last 5 road games, they've been really good, especially at the 3 ball. They're averaging 86 points per game, and they're 8 straight wins coming into this game, and they're averaging 85 points per game. I just think they're going to control the tempo and keep an eye out for Bryce Harris, who's a double-digit scorer every time he steps on the court. Give me Howard, team total over. And then we're going to the NIT, the not invited to the tournament. UNLV and my anteaters. I've been riding UC Irvine all season long. I'm going to take the under 153. Does UNLV really want to play this game? They have to travel to California to play the Anteaters, and the Anteaters defense at home is unbelievable. A little bit blown away that this total opened up at 156. It's already dropped to 153. That's a dead under game tonight.
Raphael, we do have a little synergy with that play that maybe you were not even aware of, because UC Irvine, where that game's being played tonight, is 10 minutes from my house. UC Irvine's games are broadcast on ESPN Radio, 8:30 in LA. The flagship show for ESPN Radio in LA is
Peyton Lodge's dad.
Peyton Lodge's dad. So it all comes full circle. Shout out to Trent Rush, the voice of the Irvine Anteaters. All right, look how good our production is. I said I had 3 plays, and just like that, it shows up. So, gentlemen, last week before I had to take a little hiatus to do golf, I was absolutely on fire, and I mean on fire. By the way, in my one and done, I had Cam Young last week. Vaulted me from 10th all the way into 2nd. So right now, I'm feeling the mojo. I'm feeling the vibe. So today I got 3 NBA overs. And the whole reason that Mikey just talked to you about with the Hornets, like 0 for 5 in their last, that's the whole reason I'm playing this over tonight. Because NBA teams, especially playoff NBA teams, they don't do it for very long, and 5 is too long. So give me the over at 233.5. And Miami, they'll never stop scoring. They just love to do it. Then Pistons and the Wizards. The reason I'm playing the over in this one is because the game is in Washington. For whatever reason, when the games are in Detroit, they lock down just a little bit. This one will be wide open. It will be no defense. Over 235 is an easy cash. And then Spurs and the Kings. It's the last game tonight out west. Over 236. Now, the Spurs have turned into an absolute over team. They want to play into the postseason with momentum. And games like tonight, these are the ones you come in, you bulldoze, you get the job done, and you move on to the next. So I love those 3 overs tonight. So, gentlemen, the question is, since it is a very special day at the brand, what do we need to do? And this is going to be specific to give away a Kiss Up Mountain t-shirt tonight. Because, Raphael, I don't know if you knew or the chat knows, it's Mikey P's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. Kiss Up Mountain. Happy birthday to you. So, Mikey, you get to pick. What does our record have to be today to give away a Kiss Up Mountain t-shirt?
Well, I would like to save and give to somebody, and I want to go easy and say 5 and 3. But I got to challenge not just everybody in the chat, but I got to challenge the team right here, the 3 of us. Let's make it 6 and 2.
6 and 2. 6 and 2. You will get a brand new Kiss Up Mountain t-shirt, courtesy of Mikey P. He's even paying for it on his birthday. He's even paying for it. It's absolutely crazy. What a guy! I know, right? All right, gentlemen, well done on the best bets, but we're just getting started. Did I mention we have a new show starting at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time today? It's called The 2 Count. Well, still to come, we've got front page news. We're talking basketball because the tournament starts tonight. This is Coach and Company on a Tuesday, live right here on Stadium. Right, because I know both of you are complete nerds. The question is, how many brackets and tournaments have you guys entered in for March Madness? How many?
I've done one. I've done one, and it's a whole kiss up mountain bracket. I put the Razorbacks all the way through. I'm trying to get invited to the Coach Cal dinner at some point. I'm only an hour away, Cal. I'm only an hour
Does he
away.
know that you exist?
Listen, I went to a game on a Wednesday night last year, and I tried to wrap my arms around him, and security wrapped their arms around me. So it didn't work out. But no, I don't think. I got 4 years of eligibility.
Yeah, and I'm quite certain that if Prairie View A&M was in the show, that you would be. Are they in the show?
They play tomorrow.
By the way, did you guys hear that CBS is thinking about doing a cam on the McNeese State? What's his name?
Oh, the
guy with the So producer man, we had him locked in last year to be a guest on the show, and then at the last minute, his asks were so much he didn't have time for little old us. So he may get his own camera for who's gonna. Honestly, I love the kid, but it's the second year, so we get it. But also, who's going to watch a camera just on him for 2 hours? No. What's he going to do? Like hold water bottles, give water? He's the manager. He's the manager. Now, he has a lot of NIL money. He's probably the richest manager in all of college basketball, right? He signed like 3 or 4 deals last year, like Buffalo Wild Wings. Yep. Man, good for him. Good for him. All right, gentlemen, it's just about time to start talking about the tournament. Tonight, you got 2 11s. And you have 2 16 seeds. Do they even matter? That's the question. By the way, those of you watching on our YouTube channel, which is the only way you can be watching us right now, and social media, hit that like button on your way in. It really helps the show grow and the page grow. All right, gentlemen, we are back live on the Stadium Network. Count it down with me. 8, 7, 6. 5 seconds. Oh, I need to see that again, producer man. Throw that back up one more time. We got to have the stadium viewers see it too. Mikey P, Mr. Chicago, Mr. Bears, Mr. Red Sox. There it is. Mr. Yeet. Mikey, of all of these teams, the fact that did you put this together for yourself?
I did not. I am not that talented.
Stop it. You did this for yourself. Raphael, what are the odds? Producer man or Mikey P?
My first thought was Mikey did it himself, because when I saw the Boston Red Sox, I'm like, oh, Mikey had to put the Red Sox in there.
Wow. Lady C doing anything for you today, Mikey?
No idea. Not to my knowledge. And here's the reason why I will call out producer man, because right now I'm over the yeeting. Because Jey Uso just needs to breathe while he's cutting a promo and stop slamming microphones. It's a little uncomfortable. You're not robbing somebody. You're simply supposed to be cutting a promo.
I don't know what you are talking about. I'm
out on the yeet.
Oh, my God. Well, that's part of the synergy, though. That takes the gimmick away.
He's just very bad right now. Jey Uso's on my bad list.
By the way, Lady C's in the chat today, so she's up. I would think that she would have breakfast made for you, that right when you get off the air, you walk in with some scrambled eggs, maybe some bacon, maybe some pancakes. No?
I got to take the dogs out. That's what I get for
You're like, get the dogs out of here. All right, gentlemen, the brackets start tonight, and it is... Do they still play them in Dayton, by the way? I didn't even check. They're still in Dayton.
Yep.
It's one of the great arenas. I called a few games there in my career. But they started this a few years ago when they went to 68 teams, and you got the play-in, which don't complain if you're one of the last 4 in. At least you get in. But it's on Tuesday. There's no time to sit around, and you don't have 3 days to work on the teams. But here's the thing, Raphael. For years and years and years, the 16-1 was a formality. But now with all of the parity that's going on in college basketball, is there a legitimate chance that 16s start to at least be competitive with ones moving forward?
Oh, I agree. And I think they're playing games now. I love what they're doing. They're putting marquee teams or marquee names on there. We have Texas tonight. That's going to bring in a lot of eyeballs watching Texas, a lot of Texas fans. And then tomorrow, You have Mikey's dream of Miami of Ohio in there. That's going to draw people's eyes. So I'm finally glad that they're putting college teams that we want to see in a playing game. And I do believe we'll see one of these playing teams advance to maybe the weekend. And I think we'll see more 16 seeds beating 1 seeds because of the parity and because of the 3-ball.
It kind of does feel that way. And talking about one of those teams, Texas, Mikey, one of 10, count them 10 SEC teams to get into the tournament. Absolutely banana land. Is that too many?
It's the SEC, right? Like at this point, you can't even argue against the conference. You can make a case for other conferences getting more. I would deflect the conversation, and while it's easy to look at the 10 for the SEC, coach, I like to give a tip of the cap to the conferences that should only get one, like the MAC, but they got 2 with Akron and Miami, Ohio. I think that should be a little bit more noteworthy because the SEC is always going to get a handful of teams in. So I'm not surprised by it, but I don't think the winner is coming out of the SEC either.
So my friend Bruce Pearl's taking a lot of heat, boys. A lot of heat because when he quit the beginning of the season and handed the team to his son, he went to CBS and he was part of the Selection Sunday process. And Auburn was one of the last teams out, and that Miami was a big talking point. And he tried to say it with a straight face that, yeah, I'm good with Auburn and Oklahoma not making it in and Miami of Ohio in. Raphael, do we believe him?
No, I think he was just sticking up for his son. But if you wanted Auburn in, how about not losing 9 of your last 12 games and only covering 2 of those games? How about that? Miami, Ohio on TV pretty much almost their whole stretch run, and they were winning games. Winning, doesn't matter what conference you're in there, helps you do anything, especially going into the tournament.
And I have no issues, Raph, with Miami getting in because,
Nope.
Mikey, we were on Miami the whole year. It was a fun story. And to me, I want to get back to fun. I want to get back to what March Madness was truly all about. And if you're it's not like the MAC is the Ivy League. It's not like they're, one of the really small leagues. It's still the MAC. They still have some decent basketball. So you go 31-0 and you lose your last game. I have no issues with Miami giving in. Are you surprised that they did get in?
No, I think longevity of success throughout the season was rewarded by the committee as it should be. And I've got a lot of feelings on your guy, and I don't want to get on your bad side today, coach, but Bruce Pearl, at some point, we know exactly what you're doing. What do good leaders of all brands say to those that work behind them? Give us ammo to fight for you. I've heard that time and time again, right? Well, we understand what you're doing, Bruce, because that is your son. But it is a sub 500 program in one of the toughest conferences in the country, and you lost 9 out of your last 12, as Raphael said. So, no, you had no reason to sit on the desk and pound sand for your son to try and get into the tournament when a team that went 31-0 did that. And it's only the 5th time that's been done in the regular season. I believe Miami definitely deserved it, and Auburn should just stay quiet, and so should Bruce Pearl.
I don't think he said that, Mikey. Did you watch it?
He had a lot of comments. He had a lot of comments and a lot of questions. You know how you ask a question without actually asking the question? That's what Bruce Pearl was doing. Well, what were the factors when he looked at it on this side? Bruce, we get it. He's your son. He's your son. We got it. Well, thank you.
12-5. That's always been the kind of the seed that you have that upset every single year, right? You get the 4-13, not so much. 2-15, rare. But here are the 12 and the 5s. Akron, speaking of the MAC, Mikey, and taking on Texas Tech, the 5 seed. Then you have High Point and Wisconsin. You have Northern Iowa and St. John's. St. John's looked great in the Big East tournament. And then finally a Vanderbilt and McNeese State, who has Mr. Boombox on the shoulder walking out. So of those 4, do we see a 12 seed pulling the upset in the first round?
I see 2. I could go with 2. And I could see High Point beating Wisconsin. And I could also see the other. Oh, my God. Whoever Texas Tech is playing that you just mentioned. Oh, Akron.
Akron. Yeah.
Because, listen, it's not out of the realm of possibility in my eyes that the team that was favored to win the MAC tournament, that did win the MAC tournament, takes on a banged up Texas Tech team that is without their best player in Toppin, who's lost for the year with a torn ACL. I really, really like Akron. If I had to pick one of the two, I'm picking Akron.
And I think that's where there was some pushback on Miami, is that Akron was the favorite throughout and not Miami. So it was like you're putting in the second best team only because of their record. I think that was the pushback. Raphael, do you see a 12 pulling an upset?
Yeah, I love the Zips at +7.5 against Texas Tech, but don't sleep on Northern Iowa. They're playing St. John's. You know what Northern Iowa does? They play defense and held opponents to under 60 points. So we saw what UConn did a couple of weeks ago to St. John's. I think they only scored 50 plus, and they lost by 20. If Northern Iowa controls the tempo, the Johnnies could be home early.
Ooh, going from Rick Pitino in the locker room, resurgent after 30 years ago and home after one game, Raphael. How dare you? How dare you? Now, the number one seeds, and for you guys that don't know, Raphael's day job is making these odds, and I'm using his odds. So here are the number one seeds. You've got Duke in the East, Florida in the South, Arizona in the West, and you've got Michigan in the Midwest. Now, the numbers, according to Raphael, are how many number one seeds make it to the Final Four. 2 is +140. 1 is +265. 3 is +270. 0 is +1,300. Raphael, these are your numbers. What do you say?
I would love to say 0 just because I love the parody. I love the storylines. If not one number one seed is in there. But I'm going 2, and I'm sticking with West Coast bias on this one. I think the West and the Midwest number one seeds go Arizona, Michigan. I think one of those two teams cut the nets down. So I think them to get to the Final Four.
I think sometimes when you look at it, you got to look at who the 2 seed is in that bracket. And to your point, Raphael, Purdue has not played great the last month. And then you got Iowa State, who also has not played great the last month. So, Mikey, I give you the same question.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 2 as well, and I think it's going to be Duke in Arizona. I'm not sold on Michigan. Purdue punched them in the mouth in the Big Ten championship tournament game, and I think this Michigan team still has a little bit more to prove. And we're at that point now where you don't get a mulligan, right? So for me, I'm going to go with the 2 teams who I feel are the deepest, who have the most, and wait for it, this is a very big word going into March Madness. Good thing it's only 4 letters for you, Soupy. Star power. We are at the point where these programs get carried by star power. Oh, wait, that's 2 words. But yeah, the stars are going to shine for Duke and Arizona, and that's who I got.
When trash talking goes wrong, starring Mike Pendleton every morning at 10 a.m.
Literally
on YouTube.
On his birthday.
On his birthday. Kiss Up Mountain. If you know, you know. Part of the reason people aren't picking Florida, there's 2 reasons. A, they just got boat raced over the weekend in the SEC tournament. And also Houston is the number 2 seed. And when you look at all 4 2 seeds, with all due respect to UConn, Houston, I think, is the best 2 seed. 15 seconds for either one, for both of you. Is Houston the best 2 seed, Mikey?
Yeah, they play defense like no other program in the country, and that's going to help carry them despite some injuries. Yeah, Houston, best 2 seed.
Raph?
I agree, Houston, but don't sleep on Purdue, who got hot in the Big Ten tournament, so they can maybe sneak up and get to the Final Four.
All right, very, very good. Gentlemen, well done. Again, tonight there are 2 11 seeds playing, Texas and NC State. I believe that's the late game. And then 2 16 seeds, UNBC and Howard, the winner. Congratulations. You get the Michigan Wolverines coming up on Thursday. All right, still to come. We're only halfway home. Did I mention we have a new show starting today out of BTT Studios? I may have mentioned that. Front page news coming on the other side. Alabama. You got to do your homework when you're filling out your brackets. They're going to be playing without one of their best players. Felony drug charges. We'll talk about that. Also, the WNBA, they are way past their deadline. Are we even going to see a season? This is Coach and Company live right here on Stadium. All right, boys. We're going to be talking WBC coming up in about 20 minutes. Also, there's a lot of NFL news, even though we've started the new league year. Still, a lot of moves are being made. And, Mikey, the 49ers, I feel like there's a curse, a wide receiver curse on this football team because everybody that holds out, Brandon Ayuk, or has a good season going, Jawan Jennings, or they trade Debo, they can't seem to keep these guys healthy. And now Christian Kirk, who I used to love watching him play, and I don't really consider him a wide receiver, but he has kind of been turned into one in the NFL. Is he a good fit on the other side of the field for Mike Evans?
Well, with that nuclear power plant sitting not too far away from their practice facility, that I really do think there is something there. I don't want to do conspiracy theories right now, but to answer the question, I think he's a good wide receiver for possibly a 3. They do have Ricky Pearsall, who they're trying to integrate into the offense. Jawan Jennings is there as well. Then you also think about George Kittle. So I think a lot of teams in the NFL are lacking depth after the first week of free agency. But the Niners did right by getting some reinforcements behind Mike Evans, who did not stay healthy last year.
Raphael, what about you?
I think it's the curse of Jerry Rice, who left the 49ers to put a Raider jersey on. Maybe that's why they have such bad luck in 49er land. But I like the depth. Mikey just said that. I think the depth of the 49ers offense is going to be really key now if they can just stay healthy.
I am very petty, as you guys know. Petty machete, some might say. And simply because of one of our esteemed day ones, Big Cheesy, I don't want the 49ers to do well. I just don't. And you call me whatever you want. You call me names. I'm okay. I've been called much, much worse than Petty Machete. But the 49ers, my goodness, all the talent in the world. They got their quarterback. He got his bag. They got their defense back, but they can't seem to keep anybody healthy catching those rocks. By the way, Christian Kirk, 1 year, $6 million. Mike Evans, 3 years, $42 million. We are back live in 5 seconds. At BTT Studios, we've never been hotter, but it makes me want more. More content, more opinion. So welcome to our brand new show with me, the coach.
And me, JD from New York.
Every single Tuesday, starting this Tuesday, March 17th, we're going to bring you the 2 Count.
That's right, 10 topics, 30 minutes, and that's all we need.
Now, don't get me wrong. I respect JD. But when it comes to wrestling opinions, I plan to absolutely verbally destroy him.
You know, that's funny because I do this every single night, every single week, and with someone like Coach, I call that easy work.
Now I know you have questions. What wrestling companies are you talking about? What wrestlers are you talking about? One simple answer. All of them.
And we will debate the biggest stories and the biggest topics from promotions like WWE, AEW, TNA, and shit, even JCW.
So join us this Tuesday, March 17th, for the very first 2 Count at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, live.
Why are we doing it live? Because we want you there live. We want you in the chat, and we want you there in the moment.
It's going to be the fastest show in all of pro wrestling that's going to make you think and maybe, just maybe, make you a bigger and better pro wrestling fan. We'll see you Tuesday. And that comes on live in less than 1 hour on our YouTube channel, on social medias. It is called The 2 Count with me and JD from New York. It's going to be awesome. And it's going to be revolutionary or brand new. There's no other pro wrestling show like it in America right now. And we start that today in less than 1 hour. All right, there's a lot of other news going on. Welcome back, everybody. I am the coach. This is Coaching Company right here on the Stadium Network, on YouTube, on social media. March Madness, yes. NBA, yes. But we have a lot of other things we like to put in a nice little package and call it Front Page News. All right, gentlemen, topic number 1 today. And Mikey, I'm going to start with you. Alabama, they are a fun team to watch. A lot of people thought maybe they could do some damage, but they got hit and hit hard. Aiden Holloway, one of their two best players off the team, off campus, felony drug charges until the investigation can be completed. And even if it finds that he is innocent, they could be done before the investigation gets done. What do you make of this really devastating news for the Crimson Tide?
It's devastating for Alabama, Coach, but as to coin the phrase that you made famous, what are we doing? I mean, at this point, there's no getting pulled over in his situation and going, that's not mine. For those that don't know, they found 100 pounds of marijuana. That is almost as much as I weigh, right? Like, what are we doing? You cannot be thinking, you know what? I'm just going to go down the block. You should not risk it ever. I think there are serious questions now that come into play of his character. And as far as Alabama, we're going to really find out how good Coach Oates is there down in Tuscaloosa, because when you lose a star, it now comes down to coaching.
It makes you just scratch your head. And I'm sure he's making NIL money. And I never count anybody else's money because we've seen dumber things happen. See the recent poker crap that's going on. But Raphael, this kid, I don't know how good of an NBA player that he would have been, but I think he would have made the show. So this seems just idiotic and stupid on every level.
Yeah, he fits Alabama's style. I think that's why he's going to be missed. Now, the reason why we're talking about this, yes, it's 100 pounds of marijuana, but it's all about the cash that he knows. So when you have that amount of cash with the marijuana, now it puts the ATF involved. That's why he is not going to put an Alabama jersey on ever again.
Do we know how much it was? I didn't see the number.
I've seen two figures. That's why I didn't want to mention it, because I didn't want to mention it wrong.
Okay. What are the two figures you saw? Just allegedly. Okay, there you go. Oh, my God. You'd only get one chance to do this, guys. One chance to play in the big dance. One chance to go to college. Oh, man. All right, topic number 2. And I continue to call them the dumbest people in the room. And, Mikey, they've been in the room for 7 straight days. And I'm talking about the WNBA. And I'm like, why did we wait until now to get serious about this negotiation? But they gave the deadline was a week ago. That has come and that has gone. And they still don't have a deal done. These women still believe that they are entitled to this, and this, even though they have been a losing proposition for over 25 years. Do you think we will ultimately see a season? Training camp set to start April 19th.
I believe we will, and simply because, Coach, I read it on the internet. Talks are progressing, and everything you read on the internet is believable, right? Like, it's just here's actually, and this is kind of going out of, stay on your toes here, but what I'm seeing happening in the WNBA is as soon as there's any type of play, we're seeing Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Plum and all these women all over our social media feeds. So we're getting fed our appetite if you're into the WNBA or those players. And that makes me curious and concerned about the impending baseball lockout. Don't start throwing these players in front of our faces and trying to rush the process here. So I think the WNBA will have a season, but I do think social media is playing a part of that as well.
There's no question. I think for a long time that these women bought into their own hype and they thought the hype equals dollars. No, dollars equal dollars. And right now, if they're not showing up and you're not selling tickets, Unrivaled got 20,000 people in an arena. I know there's a little bit of weird stuff going on, but they got them in the building. And if Caitlin Clark is not playing, and you wonder the longer it goes, Raphael, how big of a star will Caitlin Clark continue to be if we don't see her? And we only see her in commercials. Because right now, the WNBA, their leadership is bad. The advice they're getting is bad. And if they don't settle on what the league has offered, I think the league is okay. These owners who are wealthy for a reason, they're okay with not losing money anymore.
I do believe they play this year, but I'm kind of torn on which side I want to go on. Yes, we all know how much money they lose year after year. But this is the best firepower, the best names that they've had. So why don't you strike? If you're the Caitlin Clark or these players, this is when the iron is hot. You have the best players in the league right now. Why wouldn't you ask for the moon? Are you going to get the moon? No, but you should still ask for the moon. And I still think we see a season.
I got to push back. They asked for the moon when the moon has never made a profit. Ever.
But that profit, Caitlin Clark wasn't there when they were making profit. Sophie Cunningham
No, they've
wasn't
never
there.
made profit before or
that.
after her. So this is a business. And this is where, I'm not saying you're dumb by any stretch of the imagination, but these women, when any other business would have been gone 20 years ago. Because if you don't make money, you don't stay in business. And these women are delusional. Asking for the moon is one thing. But when you get to the time where the season needs to start, they need to be realistic. And that's what they're not being. They're just not. I mean, these owners are not going to lose hundreds of millions of dollars because the women want to get paid. And that's what's on the table right now. Hundreds of millions of dollars in loss from where they're standing right now. All right, gentlemen, topic number 3. Justin Fields has been traded. So now I and my fellow Kansas City Chiefs fans have to deal with is he truly still an NFL quarterback? They got a 6th round pick for him to go back to the Jets. Mikey, is this a good decision by the Chiefs to back up number 15?
Raphael, buckle up, because this is how you get on Kiss Up Mountain. Coach, I would like to thank you, your Kansas City Chiefs, and the entire Chiefs kingdom for bringing Justin Fields a Super Bowl championship no later than 2020. Oh, wait, let me check. 6. I believe all the moves that the Kansas City Chiefs have made, including getting Justin Fields, is going to make them a contender next year. Because Justin Fields showed in Pittsburgh that if he had the right coaching, that he could at least be serviceable. And that's all you need while Patrick Mahomes is working his way back from a torn ACL. And pound for pound, no pun intended, I'll take Andy Reid over most coaches in the NFL.
Hopefully it's not 100 pounds like down there in Alabama. Raphael, this now on 3rd and 2, Patrick doesn't have to run for the first down. They can put a little package in for him so we don't have to be scared to have our quarterback tear another ACL.
Yeah, now you don't have to really rush Patrick Mahomes back because they have Justin Fields there who can probably run the offense because, like Mikey said, they have great coaching. Now they have a running game. The offensive line has always been stellar, so you don't have to rush Patrick Mahomes. But when I first saw this trade, I said, do we have a quarterback controversy maybe?
Oh, stop it. Do we? No. All right. Bonus topic here. Every single day, it feels like MVP Promotions, Jake Paul, are announcing another fight. And the whole Ronda Rousey, Gina Carano, say what you want, washed up, old, all this kind of stuff, but it's getting more attention for one night than UFC has gotten for any of their fight nights or any of their numbered events in probably 5 years. Mikey, where do you stand right now with all of the fights that have been rolled out? The latest, Nick Diaz and Platinum, Mike Perry.
It's going to be a great fight between Nate and Mike Perry. I'm happy to see that fight. But right now, Coach, I'm proceeding with caution because I'm still out on MVP in the MMA space. Bringing in all these superstars, it's going to be cinematic, it's going to be theater, and that's great. I would caution to wait until the rest of the card comes out because I want to see what young talent MVP can identify. Jake Paul has done a very good job of that in the boxing world. What young MMA talent are you bringing in that's going to make me watch 5 years from now? Because Nate, Ronda, Francis, they're all gone 5 years from now.
They are, but I think this is a situation where he needed to get his foot in the water. Netflix loves doing business with him because he delivers big-time numbers. And I think what he's doing, if I'm looking at it correctly, he's saying, let's do this first one. I've heard rumors that Ronda Rousey is going to be the new Dana White, and I love that idea too because people love her, some, and a lot of people hate her. Same with Dana White. And she's going to say what needs to be said. She's not scared to say what needs to be said. So after she fights, I think they make an announcement and she becomes the president of the MVP MMA side of it. They just signed a deal for boxing at ESPN. I think this is a brilliant move. And then, to your point, you can then start signing MMA fighters who now realize, wait a second, maybe this is an option. Maybe this is an option, and we don't have to go to the UFC, and we don't have to go to the PFL, and we can get paid. All right, still to come, we've got Lock It In. And are you into the WBC? Coaching Company Stadium. Let's go. All right, gentlemen. Producer man coming after me, cutting me off, ruining my flow. So, gentlemen, tonight obviously is the start of March Madness. We got WBC. We're going to talk about that. Raphael, I'd love your take on MVP. I know we ran out of time right there. What are your thoughts on them now being a part of the MMA world?
Well, you stole my thunder with Ronda Rousey. I read that same rumor, so I think that's a brilliant move. And this is to make a step for the next 5 to maybe 6 years of MMA on Netflix. This is not just that they just brought their names to the game and brought some big names to the board so people can jump in and watch this. I can't wait to watch Mike Perry fight.
Me too. Me too. He's still fighting well. There's something else that I need to address, because when people start coming out, when you're starting to get more attention and you're everywhere. Well, look who's back in the chat. Our Big Cheesy. And he says, remember that bet I won when the Niners had a better record than the Chiefs? Yes. Does he not remember what happened today? And if I'm nothing, I'm a man of my word. Am I not, gentlemen?
You are.
And what did I say? If he makes one more comment, I wasn't going to do it. Did I not say that?
You did.
Did he make another comment?
7.
Multiple.
I already had Amazon open. I already had Fanatics open. And I said, not one more. And he did it. So now I don't give a damn if he hangs out with Nick Diaz in Lodi, California. Do you, Mikey?
No. And I wish I could say it the way Nate says it, but I'm not going.
He goes, let me pick this name up. Big Cheesy, do you know me? Do you know me?
Nate Diaz, funniest guy in MMA, by the way. Met him at an event, tried to give him some praise, and he just looks at me, coach, and goes, that's what's up.
I think I said Nick Diaz. I think I said Nick. It's actually Nate. Nate also wants to fight Conor McGregor.
Yep.
Please.
You want to see that a third time?
I absolutely do.
I do too.
And so do I. All right, gentlemen, we're back. Let's bring it home in 5 seconds. Okay, welcome back, everybody. This is Coach and Company, live here on the Stadium Network, YouTube, and social media. Coming up in about 5 minutes. If you missed our best bets at the top of the hour, we've got 8 of them for you. We'll recap as we lock it in. But, gentlemen, I got to be honest with you. And it was kind of similar with hockey, but I feel like NHL, they're always into it in their respective cities. But the World Baseball Classic has now become can't miss theater. These countries are super into it. I feel like the United States is the least into it. But now we have this. Italy, unfortunately, knocked out last night by Venezuela, who's had a bunch of good players over the years come to the major leagues. So tonight it's Venezuela, and it is Team USA. It's in Miami. Great for Venezuela because they have a big Venezuelan community. They're in Miami. Mikey, are you into this final?
I am. Unfortunately, it's not for Team USA because I believe that the Americans have felt obligated to be there. They want to talk like, oh, we need our lick back against Italy. Well, Italy didn't make it. And why did you have to go down 8-0 to finally get fired up in this World Baseball Classic? Why did you have to run to the defense of your manager who spoke out of his you-know-what, not once but twice? Why did you have to look bad before you wanted to look good if you're Team USA? So I want Team USA to win, but I'm more energized and enthused by the presence of Venezuela and some of the other countries we saw in the World Baseball Classic.
Did you say lick back? Lick back?
Yes.
You mean like revenge?
Yes.
Okay. Let's take that, Raphael. Back. You like lick back?
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. All right. Raphael, my guy. Have you been into it to this point? Fox has the broadcast tonight. I love how Fox does baseball because you get Joe Davis on the call. I think he's one of the best in the world. Raphael, are you into this?
You also get A-Rod, which I think he's fantastic calling games and doing stuff like that. So thank you, Fox. But I am into this, but we're going to see probably 80-20 fan base. 20% are probably going to be United States fans there. So what's the crowd going to be like if USA goes down 1-0? Can Bryce Harper do anything? Just connect the ball, hit a ground ball to the shortstop instead of the second baseman. Do something. Because if they lose, it's going to be very interesting what we talk about tomorrow. But at the same time, what's the ratings going to be like? Texas is playing college basketball. This is March Madness. This isn't baseball. What's the ratings going to be? Are they going to be watching a play-in game, or are they going to be watching USA play Venezuela?
It's a good question. It's a really good question. Maybe NXT on the C-Dub will cut into that viewer. All right. I am ready, gentlemen. I am ready. We need to go 6-2 on Mikey's birthday to give away a Kiss Up Mountain, today's specific t-shirt on tomorrow's show, which is Rant Wednesday, F Day here at the brand. So without further ado, it's time to lock it in. All right, gentlemen, Mikey P, you are upper left. Start us off.
Give me the Texas Longhorns in the play-in against NC State. NC State is too inconsistent of a team for me to like them. And then give me the Miami Heat plus 4.5 on the road against the Charlotte Hornets, who are 0-5 ATS in their last 5 games. And then in the World Baseball Classic. I'm not taking them to win. We just need Team USA to go over 5.5 runs.
Oh, I'm throwing a coach's challenge that I'll get to here in a second. Coach's challenge. Raphael, you're up.
We're going Howard team total over 70.5. The first playing game today at -105. Keep an eye out for Bryce Harris. He's a double-digit scorer, the guard for Howard. If he goes off, this one flies over the total. And then we're going to the NIT, UNLV, UC Irvine under 153. UNLV doesn't want to be there. They struggled to score in their last game. I think the Anteaters defense will put too much pressure on them all game long.
All right, in my 3 plays tonight, gentlemen, I'm going with 3 overs in the National Basketball Association. The Heat and the Hornets. The Hornets have been on a little bit of a cold streak. I think they bust out at home tonight, and the Heat, a very willing dance partner, over 233.5. Then the Pistons and the Wizards. In Washington, it's always a free-for-all. I love this number at over 235. And the Spurs and the Kings. San Antonio, well, they're starting to realize if we go to the big fella, if we go to Wemby and play around him, not only is our offense great, but we hardly ever lose. So I love that over tonight, over 236 -108. All right, Raphael, on a Tuesday, make me a little bit smarter.
We're going to the NIT because each of UCI Irvine's last 11 games against Mountain West opponents have produced a total of 148 points or less. The total's in the 150s.
All right, very, very good. All right, a couple of things to handle before we get the hell out of Dodge. Mikey, coach's challenge. The longer the WBC goes, the more the pitching takes over. United States barely scored 2 in their last game. And you think they're going to get to 6?
I do. I also think this number could get the total runs could get to 12, 13, or even as high as 14. Nolan McLean, the starter for Team USA, gave up like three runs in his last start against Italy, which they jumped out to an 8-0 lead. So if Team USA wants to have a shot and coach on the back end, Mason Miller or David Bednar will not be available for Team USA when their top 2 closers. So I think this is going to come down to who scores the most runs, not who has the better pitching.
Did you guys see Jorge Posada? What he said? Isn't he the manager for which team is he the manager for? Jorge, is it Venezuela?
It was I thought it was a hitting coach for
or hitting coach. Well, he was asked if he would ever manage in the big leagues, and he goes, "Are you kidding me? I got to show up here at 11 o'clock in the morning. The game's not over till midnight, and I got to do that 162 games a year." Yeah, Jorge, you do. you do. So, gentlemen, coming up in about 36 minutes, a brand new show. You guys have been here basically from the start. We have now 3 different pro wrestling shows. JD is going to be a new member of our crew here at BTT Studios. I'm super excited about it. And Mikey, you're going to be working on the show behind the scenes. It's kind of PTI meets pro wrestling, fast, 2.5 minutes per topic. Do you think we can pull it off?
I know you guys can pull it off.
Maybe his Wi-Fi, Raphael, can't pull it off.
I agree, but I think you guys are going to crush it.
About being
I
at the
cannot
bro,
wait
the
to watch
last word.
I think he's done. I think he's trying.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Mikey. Happy birthday. He just did a whole take that nobody heard. We need to get that AT&T fiber. You can go to my I got a deal for you, Mikey. We'll hook you up with AT&T. All right. I just got a nice little text as well. So, gentlemen, not only do we have the 2 count, but the last word with Big Tommy and Gabby. Let's put them over for a second. Raphael, you were on the show with them last night. Are you surprised that Big Tommy's been able to host?
Not surprised. I just how he's handling himself. I think that last night was probably one of his better shows on how he was handing off with me and Gabby just flawlessly. I thought last night was one of his best shows. So I totally shocked because I was here from day one when you brought him in, and it's night and day. So hats off, Big Tommy C.
My man, Big Tommy C. The DMs are popping. His merch is popping. Dirt Sheet Dan last night wearing his own hat. That really pissed Vince off, by the way. He's like, how does Dirt Sheet Dan have a piece of his own merch before I have a piece of my own merch? It really set him off. I was getting texts all night about it. It was brutal. Absolutely brutal. Apparently, Mikey doesn't want to be around for the rest of the show.
Out. Birthday present already.
Raphael, great job today, buddy. Appreciate you.
Welcome back.
Right. Thank you. Producer, man, you know what time it is. Give me that one shot. It's now time for all of you to go out into the world and for Big Cheesy to understand that I tell you something, you do it, damn it. But I may give you one more chance. I may still pay that off. We have one thing left to do, and I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window. For my entire team, love them all. Mikey P, happy birthday, kid. Raphael and producer man behind the scenes, always making the show look like $1 million. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's truly what we're all about every single day. This is Coach and Company, and we are live, as always, on Stadium. We'll see you in 30.